Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. How valuable would it be for you to know that at all times you have a direct line to the divine? And that is knowing how to work with your body, working through any blocks, resistance, sticky points, energies that are showing up in your physical body, and doing it through your breath and other somatic practices. And today I have an expert to help guide you through these practices to help you break through literally any limitation that's showing up for you. The most powerful thing, we've talked about this a lot lately, that we can do is go within ourselves, go deep within our bodies. And so today I have Elizabeth Faye on the podcast, finally. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth Faye flew from Utah to New Jersey to do a VIP breakthrough day with me back in 2021. And since then, we've just had the best relationship. She's a QCA graduate. She is now the founder of her own certification program called Glow, which is a breathwork certification program. And she is just a massive light and freaking game changer in the world. She has been on every media platform you could imagine. She has over 1 million downloads on her TEDx talk. She holds retreats. She is basically famous in the beauty industry. She is just an absolute world changer, game changer, difference maker, and one of the brightest lights that I have ever met. I'm so grateful that she is in my life. She is my soul sister, and I know that you're going to absolutely love this episode. In today's episode, we go deep into somatics, we go deep into breath work, we go deep into the power of having your own rituals, your own ceremonies, and we both share our ceremony practices in this episode, where you're literally going to be guided through the most woo-woo shit that we do to manifest and hold more wealth, more abundance, more clients, doing this energetic work in the body, the somatic work in the body through breath, through tapping, through tuning in, through movement. That is where so much of everything that we have in our life and so much of our businesses gets generated from. And I've never really shared anything like this on the podcast before, and I don't think she ever really has. So I'm really excited for you to get a little behind the scenes of our practices, our personal practices, and the codes that we use to unlock more abundance, vitality, energy, love, expansion in our lives. It's so good. It's so juicy. I can't wait for you to dive in. I'm sitting here with an amazing, beautiful soul. Her name is Elizabeth Faye, and you heard the intro about her, and it's just so cool that we're sitting here having this conversation 4 years from the moment that we met, right? We met in 2020. Yeah.
Yep.
Elizabeth flew in from
Four and a
Utah.
half years now.
4.5 years. That's crazy. And you flew in from Utah to do a VIP in-person experience with me. How did you even find me? I don't even remember how I initially met with you.
I found you through Jen Casey.
Oh, okay. That's wild.
I was following Jen, which, through Instagram. I don't know how I started following her. And she shared something about you. And I was almost signing up for Brendan Burchard's coaching certification, which I'm sure is wonderful. I didn't end up doing it. And I just felt more aligned with you. And I literally was like, I'm making the decision this week or next week what certification I'm going to be doing, like what my next move is. And I just saw your page and it was open for enrollment. It was just I just felt like that. Yep, that's what I want to do.
Wow. That's right. And you came to the VIP day before the certification even kicked
Yes.
off. That
Yeah.
was like, oh, I forgot that you were already enrolled in QCA. Oh my
I don't
God.
think I was yet. I think I was like thinking about it and I was like, I want to do the VIP day. And then I just ended up deciding to be like, hey, let's do the VIP day. Then I'll do the
Yeah.
certification. Like what
Okay.
exact order, I don't remember, but I know
Right.
like VIP was what we talked about. And I knew I had to make a decision. I'm like, I didn't want to do like a million certs at one time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What's so interesting to me and so like beautiful is that on that over that weekend that we were together, you wanted to manifest like more speaking and you wanted to manifest writing a book and you wanted to manifest like all the things that you have today, you literally said that you were creating. And I would say like the biggest thing that I've seen you step into over the last 4.5 years is you embodying like your full healer potential. Like you were like, I think I'm a healer. I think I can do these things. And you've 100% stepped into leading people, holding people, walking people through the fire of transformation. And it's just been so beautiful to witness. Like
Mm,
you you were like, I think I need to like hire someone to bring them in to lead them through that. And I'm like, no, that's gonna be you. And now it's all you.
yeah. No, that is so true. That's such a core reflection. I think sometimes we don't see how much growth we've had because you're like in it. Like it's like, it feels slow or at the time it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
But thank you
Yeah.
for that reflection looking back. Because really 4.5, 5, 4 years is not that long of a time to have your life totally look completely different in a not just different, but in an embodied way, like where it's just
Yes.
normalized.
I mean, also another thing is you were wanting your relationship to work so badly at that time, and you weren't sure if it was going to work. And now you're fucking married to that person who is your soulmate. Like, I mean, there's so much that has
So much.
quantum leaped for you.
Oh my
It's
God, so
amazing.
much. Yeah, that was
So
such
much.
I remember when we were talking in the DMs, I was like, I feel like I'm on my like edge of glory. Like it's like
Yeah.
I need to leap off the cliff and I don't necessarily know like what I'm leaping into, but I feel like I'll be caught. But I
Yeah.
need like you as a coach to like push me off the freaking edge and
Mhm.
like remind me that I will be okay and I will be safe and it's gonna work out. And I
Yeah.
think like that's why mentorship's so sacred. Like
It really is.
so
It really is.
special. Yeah.
And now you have a breathwork certification. Your book will be launched soon. You're working on this huge vitality project for the beauty industry. I mean, I'm in awe of you all the time. Truly. Yeah.
Oh,
We're so
wow.
lucky to have you here.
Yay, we're here. I
I
know.
feel like why haven't we done this sooner? Have you been
I
on the
don't
podcast
know.
before? I'm confused. I feel like you have. So, will you just share a little bit about, I don't know, your journey of how you kind of grew into this embodiment?
Yeah. Well, and before I do, I feel like I would be doing everyone a disservice listening if I don't say this. Like, I just want to give like so much love to you and like the work that you do. Like, I've been in a lot of different coaching spaces and a lot of different certifications and with a lot of different healers and coaches. And you are to this day one of the most phenomenal, best space holders, coaches I have yet. Like I will forever hire you on and off throughout my life. Like you're amazing at what you do. And you came into my life at such a beautiful turning point. And I'm just so grateful for your work and whether it's QCA or your coaching work, like both are phenomenal and your curriculum, the way you deliver, the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful. And so just thank you for you being the embodiment of you, because I know there's so many moments you've also leaped off the cliff to take brave leaps to be really shining your light in what you're meant to do. And it doesn't come without shadow work and fucking taking risk and like, all these like, excuse my French, clenching your butthole, right? All the moments you're like, I don't know. And like, but you do know, right? Highest self is like, we know, calm down. But so
Thank
just
you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. I love you. I
Yeah, I love
appreciate
you too.
you. Thank you so much. I received that.
Yeah.
We're hugging. It's a love fest.
I love that. Okay, the question was about embodiment. Is that correct?
Yeah, like how have you what has it been like on your journey to step into the embodiment that you are today?
Yeah. I think like as leaders, we have to embrace our shadow. Like, I
Mm,
really think that is part of this work of remembering ourselves, returning to our wholeness, unleashing, unlocking our power is it has gunk around it. It has shit that
yeah,
needs to be seen, it needs to be witnessed, it needs to be felt. And I think as leaders, whatever that is, like to lead is to be self-led first and foremost. Everyone gets to be a leader no matter what. I don't care if you don't have a business,
yeah,
whatever your role is. You don't even have a job. Like you can be a leader in your community, in your home, in your work, in the way that you show up in the world. And especially as you continue to maybe have little ones or partners or a team or people who look up to you or clients, like that, you know, honor of leadership needs to be taken more seriously. It needs to be like,
yeah.
okay, this matters. This, I need to be intentional with this. And so I think it's important to look at the places within ourselves that are holding us back. It also is what literally unleashes your potential like crazy. Like I am not afraid to look at my shadow. I don't always
Yeah.
like it. It's not always fun. Sometimes it is, and it's not that big of a deal. And I like laugh
Yeah.
ridiculous the story is. Like it's both, but it's like I'm not afraid to look at it. And I think that is the quantum leap so often is like putting yourself in containers, in spaces to be a student, to learn, to fail, to mess up, to see where you're holding your voice back or your message back or your channel's not clear, to be in ceremony or ritual, whatever that is for you. There's lots of ways I've done it. One of my biggest tools is breath work and
Hmm.
to really be with my body and myself. And that's I think the beautiful thing is we have so much intelligence within and we really
Hmm.
be, great healers for ourselves and for others. And um I think it's just willing to be able to sit with that is huge,
Hmm.
absolutely huge. And it's a quantum leap every time.
And I can attest, she likes the shadow work. Like you love it. I mean, we did ayahuasca together, actually. Like I almost forgot about that.
That was my first time sitting, and that was
Yeah.
intense and beautiful. And that was deep, deep when I wasn't sure if I was going to be with Derek, and Derek was working through suicidal ideation, deep depression. And that was when we were like really finding breath work. And that was when I was healing my body. I had a lot of health issues that
Yeah.
they started really bad in 2018 and 2019 was when I was like, I have to start this journey of healing and health. And so I was in it for a little bit when I met you, but like I was still in
Sure.
it, like it's not an overnight thing.
Totally. 100%. And like over that time period, I remember meeting with you on and off, and you were always going into the shadow work. You were going into you were doing a lot of inner child healing. And I
Yeah.
remember we were having this one conversation once where you were like you were in a relationship healing, like intensive or something. And somehow I got to chat with you at one point during that or right after. And you were like, yeah, I literally just sat in my bedroom all day breathing. Like that's what I did. And I'm like, wow, you do the work. You do the work. You're such an embodiment of that. I'm so like it just shows us like over and over again, and we've all heard it, like what it means to go inside, what it means to go within yourself, what it means to look at the parts of yourself that hurt, are uncomfortable, are still in need of healing. It's just, it's such important work.
Yeah, no, and I think on the flip side of that, right, is if you've been in your healing work, these same tools apply for embodiment work, which to me
Exactly.
always feels like the treat. Like I'm just like, hey, I did some of this shit that is not so much, it's not always fun to look
Yeah,
at like, how you're judging yourself or whatever. And sometimes it is silly and light and you're like, that's ridiculous. But a lot of times it is connected to maybe trauma or past things or whatever that is. But embodiment work can feel really juicy and pleasurable. And I love using the same tools to really be like, okay, I've been working through maybe some blocks in my voice or whatever that is where I'm not showing up, but now I get to embody safety and like really
mhm,
owning my truth and speaking that out and using breath or sounding or whatever tools you use to really own all of you. And I think that work is just as crucial as the shadow work because we
Yeah.
can get in the hamster wheel of looking for more. And it's
Hmm.
really like, what are you putting in its place? Like, what is
Yes.
being put in its place? And this works
Right.
with hypnosis, limiting belief work, breath
Right.
work.
We're releasing something, and what are we filling it up with?
Yes. And so it's like filling the body up with personal power, safety, security. Like, that's so, so, so important.
Hmm.
That is embodiment work. And so I think really, using that work as well, whether it's rewiring a new way of thinking or you want to make more money or whatever that is,
Yeah.
the love of your life or whatever, you know?
It's so interesting that you say that because the work that I've personally been doing and the work that I've been doing with some of my one-on-one clients is embodiment work around receiving more money and how to like actually put it in your body,
Yes.
putting that feeling in your body and just like moving with that feeling. And then any tension that you feel to like tone with that or move with that or like shake it out or anything that your body wants to do. But embodiment work is like, yeah, I love how you said like it's like the dessert, it's like the cherry on top. It's like the fun part. Fucking love doing embodiment work. And I do think that for me, I've done so much of the shadow work, so much of the limiting belief work, so much in my head too, like a lot of like mindset work that it's just pulling it all down from the head and into the physical body. You
Yes.
know?
Yes. Well, and that's so important. That's why I love breath work. That's why,
Yes.
I bring glow breath work into everything I do is the body's what we literally like manifest through. Like thought
Absolutely.
causes emotion, limbic part of the brain sends chemical down, right? That's emotion. That emotion creates frequency. We know these basic laws of the universe, right? That emotes out. That's our point of attraction. That's how things come in. But it's also like for manifestation, it's like, is your body feel safe for receiving?
Hmm.
Can your nervous system be regulated in receiving that? So even if you're in your breath work, you're in your embodiment work, like really using your visualizations and your intention of like, what does it look like to have that $1 million business or whatever that is for you, the love of your life? But let's play with the money analogy and like allowing the body to know it is so safe to hold that emotion, sadness come through, letting that move through. And as soon as that shit clears, be like, baby girl, you are so safe. Like
Yes.
right back in that spot, And so I it's such powerful work. It's honestly how like I manifested so many things. Like I did a women's circle. I was receiving breath work the night before I did my TED talk, and I was like, win this
Mhm.
circle, and they were like, speak out your manifestations. And I was like, even afraid to say it, but the power of even speaking it out and then, oh my God, breathing it in is insane. I was like, my TED talk goes viral and gets 1 million views. And I remember being like, there's no way, like logic mind was like, this is stupid. And I remember being like, mind, you're not invited to the party. This is like a heart thing. This is a body thing. Like, we'll get back to that later. Like, I don't know the strategy. I don't know the rhyme and the reason or how. Never even done a TED talk. We're just like going to stand on that stage as if millions of people are watching and you are going to speak from your heart and just like breathe with that for like an hour and a half. Fun fact, it did go viral. We did hit over 1 million.
Did. It did. On our webinar for Dream Coach Masterclass, I have you on there. And I'm like, this is Elizabeth Faye. She's spoken on the TEDx stage. Her TEDx has over 1 million views. Like, I mean, fucking phenomenal. And I
Crazy.
just want to go back to like you said something about like having it feel safe to receive in the body, where like you put it in the body, you say it, you declare it. And what is your personal process in that? Like, is it different every time? Is it
Okay, I'm going to share totally unhinged. Is that
okay?
good? Okay.
Please.
Like I share this with like private clients or in my mastermind or healing retreats, but like this is not anything I share, like even on my own podcast. So
I
I'm like,
want the woo woo. Give me the woo woo shit.
we're gonna get fucking weird, okay?
She took
So
her jacket off, y'all.
we're gonna get weirdo if you're ready, because I'm like sweating a little bit because I'm like a little like nervous to share this with like your public audience, but I'm so excited. Okay.
They're ready for it.
Few different practices that it obviously intuitively switch between. This isn't like a perfect framework of like it has to be done this way. Like, please trust your intuition with this.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm obviously a breathwork instructor. It's what I do in all of my work. So of course, breathing, right? The breath is think of like your phone line to the divine. Like the breath is the bridge of your consciousness to heavens, to God, to universe, comes through, flows through the body. So anytime you're trying to clear an emotion or bring emotion in, you're using intentionality with the breath to be like, and I can send it through, right? With the inhale, and then send that exhale down through the heart, the womb, the body, the root, whatever part feels intuitively right, you want to send that to. And you can use that same intentionality where if you feel resistance, which might feel somatically like, oh, it's constricting, it's tight, there's a sensation, the breath wants to be shorter, even like you'll feel a physical pain in a part of the body where you're like, oh my gosh, my stomach hurts or my arm, and just notice. And really fun later to look up the energetics of maybe that part of the body, the chakras they're connected to. There's like, I could go on that for a long time, but like it's interesting to recognize that, send the breath there. So that's like, I'll get into my full practice, but I really will use my breath in that way. And I'll even do body work with myself. I'll have my like Theragun, crystals, like sage, like, and I will clear because we know the body
Yeah.
keep score. We know trauma is stored in the cells. We know it is in the tissues, right? The issues are in the tissues. This is why I love somatic work. So I very much will do body work with myself, gua sha, I'll roll. Like I want that emotion out and clear. So I might be like, ooh, 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 and I will move that through, but intention of free light and clear, permission to leave, permission to soften, permission to alchemize, right? Alchemy, the process of pain into power, pain into pleasure, right? What once was difficult or hard into this wisdom or this ease, this foundation that now fortifies us. So that's where I will notice and I will send breath accordingly using literally just your mind, your intention. And so same where like if I'm puffing it up, I'm illuminating it. You can use the intention of illumination. You can use golden light, white light, free light, and clear. Ah, ooh, like really bringing that into the body. So that's my practice. I will come in. I'm very woo and I'm very, very spiritual. So I like set my altar. I set my intention. I do ceremony with myself multiple times a month. It's very important for me. And I'm like, I bring whatever's happening into prayer, into the mat, into the breath, into that moment. It's like on my bathroom floor. Like it's not fancy.
I
And
love it.
so I will
I
set,
love that it's in your bathroom.
yeah, it's like, well, I love sometimes I'll like take a bath, relax my nervous system,
Yeah.
and then I'll like lay out my stuff. And I just like the tile, if sage burns, it doesn't ruin my carpet. Like, I don't
Got
know.
it.
So, anyways, I will set out my altar, do all the things, scents, oils, whatever you work with, crystals, like whatever's part of your practice. If you do cards, like whatever, a journal, and I will open up and protect the space. Like I always, even like when I teach Glow Breathwork or I teach my practitioners, like we will protect our space. Um, if you want to open up the directions, call in whatever you work with, God, Jesus, universe, angels, guides, all belief systems welcome. Like just breathe with
Yes.
your body, and whatever you believe in is perfect. Like breathwork's not a religion. You get to it's like science. It like helps you heal and clear. So I do it my way. But anyway, so I will do that with my practice. And I also sometimes in my personal practice will do shrooms with it. Like I
Yes.
love to do a personal ceremony. So like psychedelics have been a beautiful medicine for me. You don't need it, but like I have a really deep relationship, with psychedelics.
Mushrooms.
So I will like bring that into my ceremony, set my intention. Sometimes I work with hape or cacao, depending what I'm called to work with. And I just did this recently actually with money because I'm scaling a big part of my company and it's a big edge. And I'm doing like
Yes.
pitching to C-suite executives and huge companies and like really need to get my body like on board with like $100,000 deals and serving the
Yeah.
masses and big stuff. So I literally visualize like abundance as a stream, like these codes coming to me. And this is where intuition comes in, right? Like I'm like, "Wow, how
Yes.
do I see abundance? How does it feel?" And I could see like in my visualization, it was like to one side. And I would like keep breathing until I could bring it to the middle. And this is just one example, but like I work with what comes up. And then I like had stuff come up about my mom or whatever. And I literally was declaring like all poverty patterns And now they have permission to soften, to release, to let go. And I'm like breathing it in, breathing it in. Like, this is no longer necessary or useful. We are the highest service when we are in the flow of abundance. And that,
Oh,
like, love. And I just kept breathing until I could literally get it right in front of my eyes, in front of my heart. And I just would breathe it in and let literally every part of my body, until I ended up crying and sobbing and so much gratitude, picturing the lives I would change. And
and
that,
the knowing.
the body is like, this is so safe. I feel it in my cells. That's the highest point of manifestation, whether that's a pleasure practice, a psychedelic practice, a breathwork practice for you, is a dance, a static dance of getting that feeling in the body so big, where it's just, you move with it for as long as you can take it. How good can I take it for how long? And that's your prayer. So that's like my
Mm-hmm.
ceremony, deep woo woo, like work I do
I
with
love it so
myself.
much.
It could be anything: calling in a baby, a marriage, a love, a business, a team member supporting you, like just allowing yourself. And that breath is that line to the divine through the whole thing, bringing it through the body, through the nervous system, allowing yourself to regulate and embody. Oh, and it's so beautiful.
Oh
That's what
my God. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that very like intimate personal practice. And it's funny because as I'm listening to you, I'm like, wow, I have such a similar practice. Like it's so similar. And I just let myself like make sounds and movements, anything that I need to finally get into that feeling of oneness, like I am one with that which I'm calling in. And then the oneness feeling for me is like that, it brings in that knowingness where there's no separation because you already know that you are that. You already are that because you're aligning with that. But it is the embodiment piece. It is pulling it through every single cell of your being because every single cell is breathing. Every single cell is radiating. Every single cell has frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Love that.
here's the thing about all of this, truly, you can't be fucking lazy about it. You can't be lazy. You have to be devoted to your practice. That
Mhm.
devotion and that dedication, and whatever works for you. Like you said, what'd you say? Like once every few months or once a month or whatever. Like I just did it for Lionsgate. Did you do it on
Yes.
Lionsgate?
Oh, girl, I
Yeah.
have an insane Lionsgate. So
Oh
good.
my God. So good.
And I think you be devoted, but know that it doesn't have to be hard. Like
No.
once it's almost like getting myself to do it is difficult sometimes.
Yeah,
Once I'm
right.
in it, I'm like, this is exactly where I need to be. I try to do it a few times a month in prayer
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And I also do it in my bedroom because I'm a mom and I can lock my door and everyone can leave me alone. And I do it at night and Derek's watching a show out there. Like, it can literally be like everyone's asleep, everyone's done. And that's just, I'm a mom. That's just what has to
Yeah.
happen. And it's like once you're there, it feels so good. Like, I literally one time came out of a breath work by myself and came to Derek and was like, the show in my brain is amazing. Why do I not like there was like fireworks going off? Like, sometimes it's hard, but like you end on a good note and you feel
Yes.
lighter and freer. So it's like it'll feel so good after. Like, that's the
Right.
only
It's just like
reason.
anything. It's like, that's exactly what I meant. It's hard to get started to commit to that time to do it, but the abundance that's going to flow into your life because of that, I mean, it's insane.
The
It's
decisions
absolutely
I
insane.
make in those places where I
Yeah.
decide, like, I'm not kidding you, that I just did my last one on Lionsgate. I closed my first massive deal for this thing that I've been calling in. And I said one big chain says yes, all the others will say yes. And I'm on calls with all the other ones too. And they're trying to figure stuff out to say yes. But I said one has to go for the rest to go. It was 2 days later. I did this last year when I was trying to get this signed. I have a wellness program that's for corporate companies and schools outside of Glow. And so it's like widespread. And I was like trying to get this company to sign me to be part of their like distribution for textbooks and curriculum, which is a huge thing to get them to say yes. Like, it's a massive opportunity. And literally, I decided in ceremony, it's mine or it's no one's. It's mine or it's
Cool.
no one's. And like, I made the decision. A week later, we were like literally in contracts, like starting the process. And I had fucked with myself for so long of, well, what if it's someone else's? What if it's not for me? I'll be so sad. I want it so bad, like desperate, needy girl, like fuck me energy. And I
Yeah.
that to like I am the queen of my life. This is my vision. I will carry it out regardless of who says yes. It's mine or it is no one's. And it was
Mm.
like, it's yours. Like it's already been predetermined in the stars. Whoever's going to say yes and sign. And it just was like people lined up to be like, oh, wait, she's moving. She's going. Wait. Right. It's like the boy who didn't want
Oh
to
my
marry you and the girl
God.
dating. And they're like, just kidding. Here's a ring. Here's a ring. And you're like, because you know who you are. You know what the standard of what you deserve and the work you do in the world and how you show up. But that happens on the mat, that happens in the breath, that happens in those moments where you meet yourself that
Yeah.
you have to show up for.
It's it's so fucking powerful. It's always in the moments that you meet yourself where that's when the magic actually happens. Like when you meet yourself, you're creating magic. Just know you don't have to know how it's going to happen. But then what also happens and why all these deals are coming through is because there's also a level of detachment that happens when you meet yourself and you're like, okay, it's me, I'm here, I've got this, I am everything.
Yep.
And that's it. Because when you know that, you are the magnet, you become one with everything, and it's just your world and everyone else is living in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Aho.
Oh,
No, it's so good. And I think that's why we do this work. That's why we have mentors to hold space for this, to create accountability, to show us the pieces we don't see or to
yeah.
witness us in this. And
Mhm.
we get into spaces that expand us, our mirrors. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, even like how you show up in those containers and how you show up in your life, like you're the only one that can show up for.
Mhm.
But it's worth it every time. Like it's just
It's worth it
like
every
if
time.
it's not working, the problem you get to solve because it's always like an inner thing that we get to just tweak and adjust and refine and come back into more wholeness and knowingness. And I love that. Like if something's not feeling good, I get to
Yeah.
be like, hey, it's the problem, it's me, because it's the only thing I have any sovereignty over and say over. And whether it's like this person's causing a challenge in my life, well, I have say on how I interact with them, what boundaries I have with them, whether I even keep them in my life. Like
Yeah.
I get to have, that's my power taking it back. And so whatever you're manifesting, whatever you're creating, like breathe with it. Seriously, just breathe with it.
Literally just breathe with it. Because simply by breathing with it, even if you're like, okay, they're so woo-woo, I don't know, I don't have these practices, I don't have this in my repertoire yet or in my routine, whatever. Truly, all you have to do is breathe with it. So whatever it is that you want, if you can sit down and you can say, my desire is I want to start a business, or my desire is I want to meet my soulmate, or my desire is I want a Chanel bag, whatever the fuck you want, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting it out in the mental, right? I want this. I desire this. And when you breathe with it, you're pulling it down into your body. You're making it more of an embodiment, and you're creating that regulation in your body. Every single breath you take, you're bringing it down further and further. So it's actually overcoming your cellular system, right? It's overcoming. It's kind of like a I don't know, like a sheet, a glow. If you think of it like a glow that like comes over you, right? Glow breathwork, like it's literally coming down over you, and it's creating this fucking magnetic field
Yes.
that's pulling that desire closer to you. But that's because you're allowing the desire to actually move from your head into your entire being.
Yes. Well, and we have science that shows that we are felt before we are heard. I do a keynote called Heart-Centered Leadership, and I talk about the science of the electric magnetic field around the body and that your heart actually emanates like 3 feet around you. Like you were literally energetically felt before you were heard. And emotions are just energy in motion. And so I
Mm.
think, this is a good analogy that we could close with maybe.
Yeah.
It's for someone who is on the fence. And my woo-woo practice is like after years of doing this, like I would have like judged the shit out of myself had I
Right. Like in
known.
2020, when we first met, you had no such practice of this, right?
No, this is like the last 3 years. And like
Yeah.
after so much, like, I mean, girl, it started with like a limiting belief work in therapy. Like this started like very mainstream. It took a total health crisis and my husband almost losing his life for us to be like, screw it, I'll try it. And I teach breathwork in corporate settings where we don't talk about crap like this. We just talk about simple regulation, the power of
Yeah.
it. People get amazing results. So you don't have to be this weird to see results. So Let's just talk some basics that we can close with.
Okay.
Everyone here has probably had some form of anxiety in their life. You have felt anxious about something. So when you are anxious, it's like there's a bear or a scary dinosaur or a dragon or a lion outside of the cave, right? It's the what if this thing, bad things happens? What if the economy crashes? What if this president gets in? What if I don't make enough money? What if I don't get the opportunity? What if my lover cheats on me? Whatever, right? What if my launch flops? What if no one buys? All of these things that are normal
Scary.
things that mind is like, okay. So in that moment when you're having that feeling, that thought, you are probably in your car or in your kitchen or at work. It's not actually happening, right? And so in that moment, though, thought has created a sensation that is sent down to the entire body, and it actually is being realized and happening internally in that moment. Is internally, it is actually happening. Even though
Right.
externally you're like scrolling or on TV, watching TV or at home, like you're actually safe, but you're not feeling internally safe at all. That is the power of emotion and thought and breath. The breath shortens, the chest tightens, all the autonomic systems like go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn. In that moment, boom, all that happens. That same power is available in the opposite direction. You can believe, embody, feel the life you want to create in that moment, even when it's not happening. And that's what people are trying to teach you with manifestation, with embodiment work, with healing work. And the reason why you have to do your healing work is that's the shit that's in the way from letting you embody everything that you already are, but you have forgotten that you are. And so if any moment you're like, maybe breathwork won't work for me, I'll give you a whole science lesson, just DM me. But like, that's the power of if I can give myself a panic attack where I feel like I might die, I need to go to the hospital, which I felt, I can also bring myself into the fullest expression of everything that I am and be confident and show up in the world in a way where people trust me, engage with me. I'm magnetizing, I'm not chasing, I'm attracting. And so just play with it in that way. Just every morning, breathe with what you want your life to be like for 3 minutes. Turn on some vibey music. If you want to make noises, dance, whatever, great. But if that's weird, just breathe with it and tell me in 30 days. You will be creating new neural pathways, by the way, by doing this practice. And within 90 days of this, you create a superhighway in the mind. So fun fact, do it for 90 days if you want to be superhuman. But just tell me what happens in 30 days. Like I dare you to not glow up a little bit in that process.
What? Mic fucking drop. Mic fucking drop. Damn. So good. So good. For everyone listening, if you've ever thought about getting breathwork certified, I could not recommend like a better program than Glow. I mean, Elizabeth has created such a robust program. I've seen behind the scenes. I'm about to go through it myself. And I've seen every single module. Like I've seen it all inside. It's fucking incredible what you've created. And I'm so excited just for everyone that ever goes through it. I'm excited for myself because I'm just, it's just it's the next layer and level of healing to offer to the world and also to yourself. So
Beautiful.
amazing.
Just
Thank you.
blend with imagine everyone being QCA and Glow certified. Like, do you know how good the healers would be?
Oh my gosh.
They would be like, that's all you need. Like, not to like toot our own horns. Like, I've taken a lot of programs. Like, you will be good. Like, that's all you need. And then practice, preach.
That's it.
That's it.
We have to know, what are you manifesting right now?
Oh, I am manifesting. We want to build our dream house and call in a baby next year.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Amazing.
Yeah.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Holding that vision with you.
And so it is not too soon with the baby next year.
Next year. You hear that, universe? Next year. 2025. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing with us your light, your love, everything that you are. Love you so much. And everyone go follow Elizabeth. Where can they follow you?
Just hey, Elizabeth Faye. And then there's Glow Breathwork, but like they'll find it through me.
Yeah. Find Glow Breathwork. We're gonna link everything up in the show notes. And yeah, do the program with me. It's gonna be amazing. Yay! Okay. Much love.
Big love.
Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.